All right, SPY, we saw some pretty crazy price action. A lot of stuff gapped down, and this actually is a green candle. So it gapped down hard. The future was down very, very hard overnight, which I can show you on a 5-minute candle. It gapped all the way down and pretty much churned its way back up, which is a good sign. You can see here from the 15-minute, pretty much gapped up, came up, and then pretty much closed near the highs of the day. What it's very hard when you don't have the movement throughout the day. So you have it overnight. You don't know, shoot, should I try to short this? A lot of stops were being hit. So, was this, just squeezed pretty much from people that were trying to either had their stops and just popped it up, or what's going on? Because what I'm looking at on the SPY is, again, this does not have any type of separation. And I mean that, I liked when we had this pivot point and this one was above this one, kind of almost had this going on, pop below this one, and now it's just churning. And I don't know where it's going to go. And it, again, I said it can resolve to the upside like it happened this time, or it can resolve to the downside. We just don't know because it happened this way as well. So look, you see how it's churning and then it resolved this way to the downside. I'm not sure where this is going to go. The good thing per se is, I guess you could say that there's higher lows, but on the weekly it's still, again, we can't say anything regarding this. Could just be a continuation pattern and rocket to the upside. So we just have to see. And again, when it's not, this is not a healthy, well, not healthy, it's an uptrend, but this price action is something that kind of, you don't know if it's bulls weakening, or we just have to see kind of where it resolves. And if we get a break below or something like that, and then it gives a lower high, that's going to be a signal to go short side, or that the trend is the trend is changing. Or you can get that it turns up, gives space, and pops up to the upside. So this is just a time where you just have to be very cautious of what's going on. We got the QQQ. Well, this one, we have, if we could get a break above these highs, this thing looks pretty good, because remember that this is a gap down, and it closed near the highs of the day. So that's something that's really, really good. It gapped down. You can see this is strength throughout the day. Might look a little bit better on a 15. Gap down, strong. Gap down, strong up. So the bulls definitely won throughout the day. So let's see, if you're looking at a 30-minute, let's see if we can get a break above here. And then I would be long here, and then trying to keep my stop at the low of the day if I was swing trading, and see where it goes from there. Or you could stand down because you just don't like the price action, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nobody needs to be a hero when they don't feel comfortable. The Russell, this one as well. I'm sorry that these are not showing correctly. That's Warden, but again, this is the gap down. Let's just use the IWM because we get some volume on that one. Gap down. This is green, and it held the what is this? The 50-day. So right now we're kind of in no man's land. We don't have any momentum. This one, you got to be really careful with this one, because any pop up, if it gets below this or stay below 10 and give a lower pivot point, and that volume is weak, that's going to be something to say, listen, this trend is changing, and you need to be very careful. I don't really believe in this double top shit, because usually these get broken and they're never going to stop a trend. They're never going to stop an uptrend. Okay, you need to have some type of lower high first. You could try, but I'd rather wait for it to give a lower high than go from there. That's the probability that are in my favor, versus I think they could just false break it up through just to grab these stops and roll it over. So I just would be very cautious if you're looking to be overly bearish these names. The diamond on the weekly still looks good. Daily, again, you see this is churning. This is not giving any type. I mean, you can almost say we're back in that box stuff again. And I know that I was talking about it for such a long time, and you probably hated my guts for saying it, but it's true. So now we're not trending. I mean, if I take this trend line off, you know, we're not trending right now. You had a false break. You've been trading sideways for a little while, pretty much from the beginning of June, and it's been trading sideways. It's just, you know, churning sideways, false break, got back up, come back to lows. Let's see if we can continue higher. If this is maybe a higher point than this, that could be the only good thing you could see out of that. So with that being said, let's look at a couple of names quickly. So let's look at some names actually that were requested. Treat 3D. Okay, gotta be careful with this one. Again, weekly doesn't really look that good. I mean, you did have this downtrend that you could see that this down line, I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but you can see that got broken above, and if you get a higher low, which was kind of right here, it popped up to the 50. But now I'd be very cautious with this name. I mean, you got to kind of see if you're looking for a retracement. I would say you should be very cautious indeed because of this. So let's look at where we are regarding the fib levels, and we can see that we are, you know, we broke below the 62 level. So just be cautious. I mean, it could be a buying opportunity, but you just have to be very, very cautious to kind of see where this is going. Let me just double check something, make sure this candle is, yes, this candle is green. So maybe you're a fib, you know, retracement person, and you're looking to say, okay, these levels, hopefully these levels kind of hold this previous kind of pivot, I guess. Hold. You just got to be real careful with that one. Facebook, again, this was something, again, another weird thing that happened. I mean, look at the 5 minute, you had a gap down and it filled up, and it looked strong. You know, you had that gap up, didn't fill the gap, came back, looked like it almost filled didn't even fill the gap then. So you have some price action you just have to be cautious with. It's pretty much similar price action both days. You know, it's actually kind of scary when you look at it on the 15 minute, right? It looks almost exactly the same. So you just have to see if it's going to have some follow through. And the volume decreased a little bit on the daily from this one, but again, if it's holding at 50, you have your defined risk. Your defined risk is pretty much underneath these lows, and you want to see if it can at least break out this high and continue to the upside. Again, this one, you can see again, it was trending, but again, not giving any separation. So be very, 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 very careful with this one as well. You got Amazon. Amazon just trading in a box, quite honestly. I mean, it's just trading like this for a little while. So I don't know if this is building up energy to break one way or the other, but this one's kind of difficult. Even though you're at the bottom of this box, if that's your range play, fine, but I would look for something else because it's not trending. King, this is another name, and I want to see what we got going on here. This one, yeah, this looks pretty. I mean, if you want to go for the buy, I mean, this would be it. I mean, it's pretty much a low risk trade regarding, because the body of this candle is so small. The retracement is around that 62 level, and see where it goes. I don't follow this name, but you know, I would say, you know, have at it. I mean, you can see kind of, I don't know. You got to check the volume and all that stuff with this. You know, it has decent volume, about average of 1.4. But again, if you're looking to get it, this is probably the time to get it because you're at 6.2 fib, and if it breaks above this high, you might be looking for it to retest these levels. So again, these are chart requests, so, and I do those, so you can always shoot me something on Twitter or something if you have any names that you like to look at. Take care.